Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name's Shane. I'm here at beautiful sunny Mordialloc Beach in Melbourne, Australia, revisiting the Panasonic kit lens. This is the 12-60 f3.5 to 5.6. I wanted to revisit this lens because I've been using it a lot lately, especially on these bright sunny day outdoor video shoots. Anytime you see a stationary shot of me talking to the camera, I'm using my Panasonic GH5s, and anytime you see handheld footage, I'll be using the GH5. When it comes to the 12-60 kit lens, one of my favorite things about it is the fact it's as light as it is. There's a lot of plastic on it though, which may be a turn off for certain users out there, but in terms of its functionality, especially on days like this where you want to get a good zoom range and you also want to knock out a little bit of the brightness, it's a perfect lens for outdoor use. I've been recently using some prime lenses on another camera system, and coming back to this makes me realize just how great the Micro Four Thirds is in terms of its compact size and portability. Now at 12mm, you'll find that the lens is at its smallest, and as you go up to 60, it extends at its furthest. Now this isn't parafocal. I've seen some reviews saying that it is. So that means if you focus on something in the distance or in the foreground, then you zoom in, it won't maintain focus. I have a lot of people ask me that on my last review, which is why we're doing an update. There's a couple of things I really like about this lens. The first thing that I love about it is the focus ring sensitivity. In video mode, it's spectacular. It means you don't have to turn it much to focus from the foreground to the background, depending on your focal range, of course. But I really love using this lens for video work. When it comes to the zoom ring, the thing I've noticed about it is it's great going, say, from 12 to 25 or 25 to 60. But if you want to go all the way from 12 to 60, it can get a little bit on the jerky side. Another huge benefit to this particular lens is the fact the autofocus performance is actually really good. I've tried this on the GH5s, the GH5 and the G85 and had really good results, even with face tracking. Another huge benefit to this lens is that it also supports optical image stabilization, so you can use this in combination with the O.I.S on the GH5 and get amazing handheld results, and I'll show you a little bit of that now. One of the things that makes this lens look so great is this included lens hood. I think this is really great. We also get a 58mm filter size in case you want to run a variable ND. So when it comes to getting a kit lens for the Panasonic camera, odds are you'll either get this 12-60 or the 14-42, and the 14-42 still has that optical image stabilization, making it great for vlogging, making it very similar to this lens, but it's a whole lot lighter and smaller. So if that's important to you, go for the 14-42. But just in terms of its focal range, this is far more flexible and it just feels a little bit more robust in the hand. But in terms of image quality, they're about identical. The only disadvantage to this one, as soon as you get to say 14, the equivalent, it's already getting darker, whereas on the other kit lens, you're at that 3.5. Up next, we're doing an autofocus performance test with the lens at 12mm. I've got face detection mode on, and with the GH5s, I can see that there's a box around my body. So I'm just gonna walk forwards like this and see if it maintains focus. Now, being that the focus system won't have to work too hard with an f3.5 lens, odds are it's gonna have very little pulsing, hopefully, and it's gonna maintain focus. Now, if I get really close, how's that doing? It should be great. Another huge benefit to this particular lens is its minimum focus range is extremely great for product photography or video. So you can do a lot with this lens. Let's see how it now responds at the 25mm focal range. When it comes to the Panasonic Lumix Micro Four Thirds system, the 25mm f1.7 is one of my favorite lenses. You get lots of background blur. But I'm running this kit lens at the same focal range now, so it won't give me quite the separation in the background, but it should give me more than what you just saw before. Let's do a quick autofocus test now as I move forward to the camera and see if it maintains focus on my face. We should be in business. Up next, we're testing it out at 60mm, so this will give us the best background separation and blurry background that we're going to get from a lens currently at f5.6. So Hopefully this works well. Let's test out the autofocus performance as I walk forward. I can see people are looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing? But the autofocus performance works great on this lens. That's why it's great for video. I really dig it. Now, in terms of autofocus performance on a G85 or G7, for example, is one area mode. That's where you create the box. Currently got it in the center of the frame towards the bottom, which should work really well. So I'm just going to test this out now and move forward. And odds are we're still going to be in focus. This is definitely a really great mode of autofocus, especially if you're behind the camera. You can slide your finger anywhere on screen and make this lens work extremely well and reliably. When it comes to using a gimbal, I can highly recommend the 12-60. You can rely on the autofocus a whole lot more, especially in one area mode, but you get not only the in-body image stabilization if your camera's got it, but also in combination with the lens stabilization, giving you a very fluid image. I've shot a number of different situations with a gimbal and this lens, and it's always worked well. One of the areas that this 12-60 kit lens doesn't do well in is low light. So if you're going to be shooting indoors, you'll definitely need some proper studio lighting to get the best results from it. But if you're going to be shooting outdoors and it's a bright sunny day like this, it's a fantastic lens, and these results hopefully speak for themselves. I had to get off the beach. It was so damn hot. I was sweating out all of my sunscreen. So right now we're doing a vlogging test at 12mm using my Panasonic GH5 standard. So not the S, but the standard GH5. So I really love this lens for vlogging. This is just holding the camera handheld at arm's length like this. One of the good advantages you get with this lens is if you want to get a little bit more of that background blur, you can zoom in a little bit to say 20mm or so and use a stick, and you can still get great stabilization. So some people say that the 12mm range gives you a little bit of warpy stuff in the corners, but generally speaking, if you can keep it somewhere between 12 and 18, that's pretty much its sweet spot. So where I've got it set right now is perfect for vlogging, and hopefully it's still nice and stable.